Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we are following a very specific and ancient path.
We are. We're stepping through the east gate of the Sree Padmanabha Swami temple.
And right away, the atmosphere shifts. Our sources describe the air as being, and I'm quoting here, perfumed with incense and thick with reverence.
That's a perfect description. It really signals that you're entering a space where, the rules of the outside world, they just don't apply anymore.
It's a total sensory reset.
Exactly. And our mission for this deep dive is a really focused one. We want to walk through that initial physical journey step by step.
We're going to decode the meaning in the very first structures you encounter. This path is designed to prepare you.
It is. We're looking at the Shukamalam.
Which is the local term for this whole outer courtyard, right? This ambulatory path.
That's it. And it's so much more than just an entrance. It's really a spiritual staging ground. You're moving from the bright, open, exterior world toward the dark interior of the sanctuary.
And you barely get 10 steps inside before you are just confronted by the first, and I think it's fair to say the most commanding structure in the entire complex.
Oh, without a doubt.
The Dwaja Stampam.
Late.
Monumental, gold-covered flag mast. The scale is almost impossible to process. It just forces you to look up.
And that act of looking up is so central to its purpose. Our sources really emphasize its size, noting that this incredible golden spire rises nearly 80 feet.
80 feet?
Yeah. It's a powerful visual anchor. It catches the sun and it demands your focus.
And it has this really unique conceptual role. It's referred to as the temple's spiritual communication aerial.
I love that phrasing. It suggests it's not just decorative, it's a mechanism.
Right. It's functional.
That metaphor is absolutely crucial. I mean, if you imagine the temple as a kind of spiritual ecosystem,
Right.
The Dwajastamam is the conduit. It's the link between the earthly world of the devotees and the heavenly realm of the deity. Its height is all about that aspiration connecting the two.
So this is literally where the pilgrimage begins. At the base of this towering structure. This is the spot for your first ritual act.
Precisely. Before you go any further, this is where you offer prayers, show humility, and perform namaskaram ritual prostration.
And this act of humility, it's not just a casual bow. It's highly codified. Our materials specify 2 forms you'd see or even perform yourself.
They do. The first is Sashtanga Namaskaram.
Which involves 8 points of the body touching the ground.
Right, the full, complete prostration. You lie completely prone, head, chest, hands, feet, knees. It's an act of total surrender.
And the other one
is the Panchanga Namaskaram, which uses 5 points. This is generally performed by women, and it reflects a slightly different traditional posture of reverence.
So even your physical posture is part of this ritual language from the very beginning.
Absolutely. And this area, it also comes with a very significant rule for how you move, which is our first key insight into the temple's processional flow.
Okay, what's the rule?
You must circumnavigate the base. You are explicitly told not to walk directly over the wooden steps or the platform at its foot.
You have to go around.
You have to go around. Think of it as sacred ground. It's a threshold you respect, not a shortcut you take. It forces every single visitor to acknowledge the symbol before they move on.
Okay, so you've made your dedication. You've shown humility at the foot of this 80-foot golden aerial, and then the pathway just naturally flows you deeper in.
It does. And the next stop is the Balikal Mandapam, a very detailed, heavily sculpted hall.
The transition feels immediate. You go from this open space, all about height and light, to a more enclosed hall that's all about intricacy and detail.
You're right. The Balikal Mandapam is like the visual narrative center of this first part of the journey.
The sources say this hall is like a textbook in stone. The pillars are just saturated with art gods, celestial beings, mythical figures. Each one, as the notes say, is telling an ancient story.
And this is where the sheer depth of Hindu cosmology just hits you visually. You might see pillars with detailed yakshis, these celestial dancers, or maybe scenes from the Ramayana.
So it's not random decoration. If you knew how to read the stone, you'd be absorbing the core myths of the temple.
That's it. But it's not just for display. The hall has a critical ritual function, which is right in its name. It houses the Balakal.
The guardian stones.
The guardian stones, yes. They are the receivers of Bali, which just means offerings, usually rice or flowers, simple tokens.
So you're making offerings to the protectors of the temple grounds before you even approach the main deity.
It's like seeking permission from the entourage before you meet the Lord of the sanctuary. And right next to this main hall, our sources mention the Nalambalakal.
A smaller, dedicated platform. Why would it need that?
Well, think about the full sensory experience.
So not just visual, auditory, music.
Yeah. Exactly. It's set aside for traditional drumming and music, the chenda and madalam. It provides the actual rhythmic soundtrack for the rituals. So you have the visual stories on the pillars, the offerings at the stones, and this constant soundscape.
It's completely immersive. But once you're in this space, our source gives a very practical warning. This is a critical insight.
Yes, this is the moment things change. You're no longer just sightseeing.
Right. The crucial rule alert in our notes says that once you enter this mandapam, you are officially on the primary processional path.
And the rule is clear. You have to keep moving with the flow. You can't just linger, especially if a queue is forming behind you.
And this isn't about being rude. It's a ritual necessity, isn't it? The pilgrimage is about movement, and stopping the flow breaks that collective focus.
It connects to the very nature of communal worship. The flow itself is sacred. The whole experience is designed for the collective, not for prolonged, museum-style contemplation when others are waiting.
You become part of the stream that's guiding everyone towards darshan.
Exactly. And for our listeners, darshan is the ultimate goal here. It's not just seeing the deity.
No, it's that mutual act of seeing and being seen by the divine.
It's the whole purpose of the visit. And everything in this outer courtyard is designed to prepare you for that moment. And that preparation continues as the stream guides you out of the Balakal Mandapam and into the final grand hall.
The Kulasakara Mandapam.
Yes. This feels like the architectural crescendo of the outer journey. It's hailed as a breathtaking example of Kerala architecture.
But its real fame, its legend, is tied to its other name.
It is the Saptaswara Mandapam.
Which translates to the Hall of Seven Musical Notes.
Exactly. So right away, this structure holds some kind of incredible secret.
The hall that sings, it just defies logic for a stone structure. How did engineers centuries ago make granite pillars musical?
Well, this is the fascinating detail our sources hint at. The legend is that certain carved granite pillars inside were engineered, maybe through internal drilling or calibrating the density of the stone.
They were tuned.
They were tuned, precisely, so that when you tap them gently, they produce distinct, recognizable musical notes.
Real notes.
Real notes, yeah. Aligned with the 7 notes of Indian classical music. It suggests a mastery of acoustic engineering that is just mind-boggling.
It transforms the building into an architectural instrument.
It does. It elevates the whole concept of temple artistry. But that magnificent history comes with a very strict warning.
Ah, yes, for its preservation. The source material is very clear on this.
It is. While the temptation to hear it for yourself must be immense, you are explicitly instructed not to tap the pillars. It's a critical rule.
You have to respect its silence to preserve that ancient secret for the future.
Exactly. The history is held in the stone.
So, we've done the dedication at the aerial, we've absorbed the stories in the transition hall, and now we've skirted this musical mystery. What's the final step in this preparatory circuit?
The path itself becomes the final guide. Once you're past the musical hall, the processional way runs along its outer edge, and the movement is deliberate.
It guides you, clockwise, around the central shrine.
Always clockwise. You're now in the Pradashina, the ancient pattern of movement that symbolizes reverence and alignment with, cosmic order.
So the path itself forces you into the proper ritual rhythm.
It completes your preparation. It channels your energy, your focus, your physical movement, all towards that one singular goal. It's the final turn, bringing you right to the threshold of the inner sanctum, ready for the darshan of Lord Padmanabha.
Okay, let's quickly synthesize this initial journey.
Let's do it.
You start with this colossal 80-foot golden flagpole, the Dwajastambam. It requires a public act of humility.
Then you move immediately into the Balakal Mandapam, where the sculpted myths and the guardian stones place you firmly in the collective mandatory flow of the pilgrimage.
Right, the community over the individual. And finally, you skirt the Kulasakara Mandapam, acknowledging this incredible, almost magical human artistry, before the path narrows and points you inward.
And that transition from external grandeur to internal quiet, that is the key insight our source leaves us with. The final detail is this. We will momentarily leave the light of the outer hall and enter the path leading directly into the heart of the sanctuary.
And just think about that for a second. The entire journey so far has been under the high open roof of the Chittambalam. It's visible, it's bright, it's expansive.
The Dwajastambam is a shining, visible beacon, You're moving past pillars carved with these huge, epic, external stories.
But now, the architecture, the tradition, it guides you away from all that light. You're moving into an enclosed, often dark, internal space to see the central deity.
From the external to the internal.
So here's the thought for you to carry forward. What does this physical movement tell you about the nature of the pilgrimage itself? It's a journey from the visible and vast external world, the light, the spectacle, the 80-foot golden aerial, into the enclosed, internal, and maybe ultimately hidden heart of the sanctuary.
Does true devotion require leaving that grand visible world behind to find what is internal and subtle? That's the question to take with you as you continue.